Chapter 3. Jeremy got on his fat steed and rode off to Chelsea. Now, upon seeing Chelsea, he was excited because he had found out this fantastic information from the Hag Witch librarian. Chelsea greeted him and said, Oh, my love, what did you find out about the curse? Now, Jeremy was slightly disturbed by her voice, but he knew there was a hot young maiden in there somewhere, so he said, My love, I have discovered the witch who created the curse in the first place, but I must go off and complete her tasks so she can change you back to yourself. And Chelsea, she said, What do you have to do, my love? Jeremy could not handle this anymore. He said, Chelsea, I just have to go to the Goblin King and figure out where the witch's broomstick is, and it'll all be a piece of cake. Chelsea was not convinced this would be said piece of cake. She said, Oh, but Jeremy, it's so dangerous. And he said, Oh, nonsense, darling. It'll be simple. Just give me a lock of that precious hair of yours. By this time, her hair was gray and crusty. But, anywho, she took a piece of it, getting ready to cut it, and it just kind of came out of her head. Just because she was old. And she was like, There you go, Jeremy. And so Jeremy took it, and he was like, Well, thanks, babe. And so he put it in his pocket and got on his fat steed and rode off. Now, the trip to the Goblin Kingdom is quite dangerous. On the way there, there's a terrible desert you have to cross. And there are very, very dangerous lightning storms that happen. So as he was riding, it was a crazy storm. Lightning was shooting about all around him. He was riding and riding and riding, and then a lightning bolt came out like a dove, but a lot faster, and hit him in the face. It hurt. You remember that left eye that got hurt in the cabin explosion? It popped. It was tragic, but Jeremy decided he had to go on. So he just put a little cotton ball in the socket and kept riding. And eventually he made it to the gates of the Goblin Kingdom. Upon entering the gates, there's a horde of goblins just waiting there. And he said, Hey, what you doing in our kingdom? And Jeremy said, Well, excuse me, sirs, but I'm looking for your master. Where is he? And they're like, We don't tell you nothing. And he said, Oh yeah, and he cut off 5 of their heads, and they all agreed that they should show him where the king was. So they pointed him in the right direction. Jeremy rode off in that direction and found the Goblin Kingdom. And the king was huge. He was a beastly man, green and grotesque. His belly was like this big. Like really, that big. Jeremy was quite surprised that his obesity hadn't killed him yet. So Jeremy made his request. Goblin King, I require the little broomstick of the witch. Now the Goblin King knew exactly what he was talking about. And he said, Oh really? You need the witch's broomstick? Now Jeremy was disgusted. He said, Please just give me the broomstick before I vomit all over your lovely house. Now, the Goblin King did not like that. As you can see, Jeremy's attitude is quite problematic. So the Goblin King took a large club off of his wall and said, You're mine, Jeremy, and he swung at him. Jeremy ducked and rolled underneath the table. The Goblin King picked up his club and began smashing the table. But by this time, Jeremy had already ran away under the bed of the big green man. Now, he didn't see that. So when Jeremy ran up behind him and poked him in the back of the knee, he tripped and fell and rolled into the fireplace and died. Now, Jeremy was pleased that the Goblin King had died, so now he could fetch the broom. So he looked around, and of course, there it was, up on the mantle. So he grabbed it and went outside, and the horde was there. They're like, "You killed our king!" And he said, "No, I didn't." And obviously he did. There was a burning corpse inside of the house. So he said, "Oh, what's that over there?" And all the goblins looked, and he took that broomstick, swung it between his legs, and flew off. And the goblins couldn't do anything about that. So unfortunately, he had to leave his fat steed. But it was a prize he was willing to take for his beautiful Chelsea. Now, he flew off towards the land of his youth, and on the way he had some thoughts. Would he get back in time before Chelsea dies? Will he be able to accomplish the second task of the witch? Find out next time in Chapter 4 of Dreamweaving with Carter.